Ladies, let's be real for a moment. Men don't always come right out and say what they're feeling. They don't always wear their heart on their sleeve. But here's the truth. When a man is genuinely interested, he will leave clues. Not through big declarations or fancy lines, but through the small questions he asks you. And if you pay attention, those questions reveal far more than words like "I like you" ever could. Because here's the thing, a man who cares, a man who's curious about more than the surface level, will ask questions that dig deeper. And that's where you see the difference between someone who's just passing time and someone who wants to build something real. What was your day like? When a man looks at you and asks, "What was your day like?" It may sound like a small question, but don't underestimate it. That simple phrase holds weight, meaning, and intention, because let's be honest, most people ask out of habit. They say it at the grocery store, at the office, or in passing, and they don't really care what the answer is. But when a man truly likes you, when you matter to him, that question isn't surface level. It's a door. It's his way of stepping into your world and saying, "I want to know you, not just see you." Think about it. When someone is just passing time, they don't care about the details of your life. They don't care whether you had coffee at 8:00 a.m., got stuck in traffic, or laughed with your friend at lunch. But when someone is interested in you, every small detail becomes a thread he wants to follow. Because it's not just about the events of your day, it's about the emotions behind them. He's asking, "What made you smile today? What challenged you? What frustrated you? What lifted you up?" That kind of curiosity reveals more than attraction. It reveals care. A man who consistently asks about your day is saying, "I'm here. I want to know how you felt, what you went through, and who you are when no one else is watching." And that's powerful, because love, connection, and respect are not built on big speeches. They are built on small, daily investments. Now, here's where many women miss it. They hear the question and brush it off. They say, "Oh, it was fine," or "nothing special," and the conversation ends there. But when a man likes you, he's not just fishing for filler words. He's giving you space to open up, to share, to let him in. It's not about hearing the highlight reel of your day. It's about being invited into the behind the scenes. Picture this. You had a stressful day at work. Deadlines, meetings, tension. You come home and he asks, "What was your day like?" In that moment, he's not just asking about tasks. He's asking how you feel. And when you share honestly, when you let him hear your victories and your struggles, he's given the gift of knowing the real you. That's where connection grows. That's where intimacy begins. And here's the deep truth. Men who ask this question consistently are teaching you something. They're showing you that attention builds attraction, because anyone can give compliments. Anyone can send a text that says, "Good morning, beautiful." But it takes something more to show up every day with genuine curiosity about your heart. That's not just interest, it's investment, and consistency matters. If he asks you once, maybe it's manners. If he asks you twice, maybe it's conversation. But if he asks you every day, over and over, no matter how busy, no matter how tired, that's care in action. That's a man saying, "Your world matters to me. Your voice matters to me. And I'm paying attention." Because think about this. When we love something, we want to know it. We want to understand it. A man who loves sports will know every stat. A man who loves music will memorize every lyric. And a man who likes you will want to know every detail of your day. Not because the details themselves are extraordinary, but because they came from you. So the next time he asks, "What was your day like?" don't underestimate it. Don't dismiss it as casual conversation. Hear it for what it is. A quiet declaration of interest, of care, and of connection. Because that question is not about the day, it's about you. It's about him saying, "You matter. Your story matters. And I want to be a part of it." And very few women notice this. But when you do, when you realize that simple question is a window into his heart, you'll see it differently. You'll see the effort, the intention, the care, and you'll know, this isn't small talk. This is love in its first language. Curiosity. What do you think about when a man looks at you and asks, "What do you think about this?" That's not just small talk. That's not filler. That's a signal. Because men don't invite everyone into their decision making. They don't open the door for just anyone's perspective. But when he asks you what you think, it means he values your voice. and valuing your voice is one of the clearest signs that he values you. Think about it. In life, we only ask for advice from people we respect. We only seek opinions from people whose perspective matters to us. If you're sitting at a coffee shop and a stranger walks by, you're not going to ask them, "What do you think I should do with my career?" Why? Because their opinion doesn't carry weight in your life. But when a man likes you, when he's genuinely interested, he wants to see the world through your eyes. He wants to understand how you think, how you process, how you see the big picture. This is deeper than attraction. This is about respect, because attraction says, "I like how you look," but respect says, "I like how you think." And when a man starts leaning into your perspective, it means he sees more than the surface. He's looking for substance. Let me make this real. Imagine he's working on a project, maybe at work, maybe in his personal life. He's wrestling with a decision, and he turns to you and says, "What do you think I should do?" That's him showing vulnerability. That's him saying, "Your insight matters. I trust your judgment." And trust is the foundation of any strong relationship. Now, here's the part most women miss. It's not about whether your answer changes his decision. It's about the fact that he cared enough to ask. Because when someone is self-absorbed, when someone is only thinking about themselves, they don't ask, they don't invite, they just act. But when someone is invested in you, they slow down, they pause, and they say, "What do you think?" That's not just courtesy. That's connection, and don't confuse it with flattery. Anyone can compliment you. Anyone can say you're so smart. But when he asks for your perspective, that's action proving his words. Because love is not proven by compliments. It's proven by consideration. Here's another layer. When a man likes you, he doesn't just ask your thoughts on random things. He asks about things that matter to him. Maybe it's his career path. Maybe it's family decisions. Maybe it's something he's been dreaming about, but hasn't shared with anyone else. The moment he brings that to you, he's inviting you into his inner world. And that's not something men do casually. That's intimacy in motion, and you'll notice something else too. When he asks, he listens. He's not scrolling his phone. He's not half distracted. He's tuned in. Because when someone values you, they value your voice. They lean in. They remember what you said. And sometimes, even if he doesn't act on your exact words, he'll carry your perspective with him. He'll replay it later. That's what it means when someone respects you. They don't just hear you, they absorb you. Now, why does this matter so much? Because relationships rise or fall on respect. Attraction fades, looks change, life shifts. But respect, that's what carries love through the storms. And a man who asks, "What do you think?" is building the habit of respect early. He's saying, your mind is not just noticed, it's needed. So, the next time he turns to you and asks your opinion, pause and recognize what's happening. Don't brush it off, don't think he's just making conversation. No, he's revealing how much he values you, because when a man likes you, he doesn't just want to impress you, he wants to involve you. And very few women catch this. Very few realize that the question, "What do you think?" is more than words. It's an invitation. It's an opening into a relationship that isn't built on ego, but on partnership. And when you see it for what it is, you'll know, this isn't just a man who's curious. This is a man who cares. What are your plans for the future when a man looks at you and asks, "What are your plans for the future?" That's not a casual question. That's not small talk. That's a signal that he's thinking ahead. And he's wondering if his path might connect with yours. Because let's be real, most conversations stay in the moment. Most people talk about today, maybe tomorrow. But when a man starts asking about your future, it means he's seeing you as part of something bigger than right now. Think about it. When someone is only interested for a short season, they don't care about where you're headed. They don't care about your dreams, your goals, or what you're building. Why? Because they don't plan on being around long enough for it to matter. But when someone is serious, when someone is truly invested, they look beyond the moment. They start imagining what life could look like down the road, and they want to know if you're imagining the same thing. This question reveals depth. It shows that he's not just curious about your weekend, but about your purpose. He wants to know what you're working toward, what excites you, and what kind of life you're shaping for yourself. And here's the beauty of it. It's not about him agreeing with every single thing you say. It's about him caring enough to listen, because when a man listens to your dreams, he's saying, I honor who you are becoming. Let me give you an example. Say you're talking, and he asks, where do you see yourself in 5 years? On the surface, it sounds like an interview question, but underneath, what he's really saying is, can I picture myself there with you? Do our paths align? That's not small talk. That's vision talk. And vision talk means he's taking you seriously. Now, here's where many women overlook it. They hear the question and think it's just curiosity, but think carefully. Men don't ask this unless they're considering the possibility of something real. Because the future question isn't about right now, it's about whether you fit into the next. And only someone who's interested in building, not just enjoying the moment, asks it. And notice the tone when he asks. If he asks with genuine curiosity, leaning in, waiting for your answer, that's investment. That's him saying, your direction matters to me. I want to know if I can walk alongside you. And if you pay attention, you'll see that this one question opens the door to deeper conversations about values, priorities, and dreams. Because let's be honest, relationships that last aren't just built on chemistry. They're built on alignment. People moving in the same direction, or at least willing to walk together as they chase their individual callings. And when a man asks about your future, he's checking for that alignment. He's not just looking for fun, he's looking for fit. Now, don't confuse this with pressure. He's not asking you to have every detail figured out. He's not demanding a 5-step plan. What he's looking for is your heart, your vision, the things that light you up inside. Because when a man likes you, he wants to connect with more than your present. He wants to connect with your future self too. And here's something powerful. When he asks this, he's also testing himself. He's wondering, can I be the kind of man who supports these dreams? Can I stand beside her as she builds this life? That's growth, that's maturity, and very few men will go there unless they're serious. So the next time he asks you about your plans, slow down. Don't just throw out a quick answer. Recognize what's happening. He's opening the door to a conversation that most people never reach. He's showing that he's not just thinking about attraction. He's thinking about partnership. Because here's the truth. Anyone can be interested in your present, but it takes someone who really cares to be interested in your future. And when a man asks you that question, he's not just saying, tell me about plans. He's saying, I'm picturing mine, and I want to see if they can fit together. And very few women notice this, but when you do, when you realize that this simple question is really a window into his heart, you'll see the difference between a man who's just passing through and a man who's planning to stay. How can I help? When a man looks at you and says, how can I help? Don't miss it. That's not just kindness. That's not just good manners. That's a man revealing his heart through action. Because words are easy, promises are cheap, but the willingness to step in, to serve, to lift weight off your shoulders, that's where real interest shows up. Think about it. Anyone can say they like you. Anyone can send sweet texts, drop compliments, and make you feel good for a moment. But a man who offers to help is saying something much deeper. I see your load, I care about your struggle, and I'm willing to step into it with you. That's not casual, that's commitment. This question matters because it shifts the focus from him to you. Most people live in me mode. They think about their schedule, their problems, their priorities. But when a man slows down and asks, how can I help? He's stepping out of his own world and stepping into yours. That's sacrifice, and sacrifice is the language of genuine care. Let's make this real. Maybe you've had a long week. Deadlines at work, family obligations, responsibilities piling up. You sigh, you mention how heavy it feels. And instead of brushing it off, instead of changing the subject, he says, how can I help? That's a man saying, I don't just want to hear about your struggle. I want to shoulder it with you. And here's the thing, it's not about whether he solves every problem. It's not about whether he has the perfect solution. It's about his willingness to try, because help is more than action. It's intention. It's saying, I care enough to get involved. Most women underestimate this. They hear the question and think, oh, he's just being polite. But no, men don't offer help unless they're invested, because offering help costs time, it costs energy, it costs effort, and no man invests in what he doesn't value. And you'll notice something powerful here. When he asks, how can I help? He's not making it about himself. He's not saying, here's what I think you should do. He's putting the control in your hands. He's saying, you tell me what you need, I'll adjust, I'll show up in the way that serves you best. That's humility, that's partnership, because the truth is, real relationships are not built on romance alone. They're built on service. Two people saying to each other, I'm here for you. Not just when it's easy, not just when it's fun, but when it's heavy, when it's messy, when it requires effort. And when a man offers to help, he's showing you he understands that. Now, let's go even deeper. When he asks how he can help, he's also saying, I want to learn you. He's acknowledging that your needs might be different than his assumptions. He's not trying to guess, not trying to control. He's asking. That's respect. That's him saying, I don't want to just give what I think you need. I want to know from you what actually matters. And that kind of question builds trust. Because over time, you'll start to see that he's not just watching you carry your burdens. He's walking beside you. He's not just saying, good luck. He's saying, let's do this together. That's what separates a man who's casually interested from a man who's seriously invested. So, the next time he asks, how can I help? Pause. Recognize the weight of that question. Don't brush it off. See it for what it is. A quiet declaration that you are not alone, that someone cares enough to step in, even when it costs him something. Because here's the truth. Anyone can admire you from a distance. But a man who likes you will draw close. He'll roll up his sleeves. He'll step into your struggle, not because he has to, but because he wants to. And very few women notice that. But when you notice it, when you recognize the power of that question, you'll understand this is not just a man being polite. This is a man showing his heart through service. This is love in action. When a man asks you, what was your day like? What do you think about this? What are your plans for the future? Or how can I help? Those aren't just questions. They are windows into his heart. They are subtle, often overlooked signs that he's not just passing time with you. He's showing care, respect, curiosity, and commitment in ways that most women never stop to notice. And that's the point. These questions aren't about filling silence. They're about building connection. A man who doesn't care won't ask. A man who's only half interested won't listen. But a man who values you, who sees you as someone worth investing in, will find ways to enter your world. He'll want to know your day because he cares about your heart. He'll want your opinion because he respects your mind. He'll want to hear your future because he's picturing himself in it. And he'll offer his help because love without action is just words. These questions are not dramatic, they're not flashy, and they're not loud, but that's exactly why they matter. The strongest signals of love are often the quietest. They're hidden in consistency, in humility, in genuine curiosity, and too many people overlook them, waiting for big declarations while missing the everyday signs that someone is truly invested. Here's the truth. Real connection doesn't reveal itself through grand gestures alone. It reveals itself in the small ways a person shows up for you. And these 4 questions, they are some of the clearest ways a man shows, I like you, I respect you, I'm paying attention. So don't dismiss them. Don't brush them off as just conversation. Start listening differently. Start noticing the weight behind those words. Because when a man asks these questions, he's not just speaking. He's showing. And what he's showing is interest, care, and the possibility of something real. At the end of the day, anyone can make you laugh. Anyone can say they're interested, but very few will slow down long enough to ask questions that reveal who you are. When you find someone who does, don't miss it. Don't take it lightly, because that's not small talk. That's the beginning of something rare.